out a piece of paper and held it high. She said, "In my hand is the lucky second grader. The child will get to make up a Christmas story and tell it tell the story on this Friday in this assembly."
Choose me.
Little Big Eddie, what's your dad on the toy store?
Choose me.
Cool Katie, the coolest girl in the class.
Choose me. Mumbled Munching Max, the skinny kid who was always eating.
That's me.
Replied red-headed Robbie. The smallest bound. Robbie could feel his face turning red, and he dropped his bag to the desk. He had done it again. Robbie meant to say,
"Don't choose me."
But instead,
Bubble Richie
came out.
Red-headed Robbie spoke perfectly fine while talking to his parents and his friends, but whenever Robbie felt nervous or excited or upset, the first words that come out of his mouth usually made no sense.
Robbie's garbled words were funny, but his classmates never laughed. They liked Robbie. He shared his lunch treats. He didn't hog the swing. In fact, when Robbie misspoke, the kids usually covered up for him. Big Eddie said,
Redheaded Robbie didn't mean that, Miss Wallace. He's just nervous.
Miss Wallace read the slip of the paper. The winner is Robbie.
Oh no, said Big Eddie.
It can't be so,
Said Cool Katie.
Bad show.
said Munchie Max.
Upper Colonel.
Said red-headed Robbie. That night, Robbie felt sick to his stomach. How could he make up a story and tell it to the Christmas assembly without saying something silly?
Robbie wrote a fairy tale about a snowflake that landed on a fruitcake and thought it was a raisin. That story was lame for Robbie to it.
The next day after school, Robbie visited Big Eddie and his father at the toy store. Robbie found him spinning around in his father's desk chair.
How's the story going, Redheaded Robbie?
I need help.
Said Robbie. Eddie said,
Make up a story about a boy who gets so many presents it takes him 2 days to open them all up.
But Christmas isn't about giving presents. It's time to give gifts to people who have less than us.
Eddie stopped spinning in a chair.
I never thought about Christmas that way. Sorry I didn't help with your story.
The next day after school, Robbie visited Cool Katie at her house. He found her at her desk talking on the phone. How's the story going, red-headed Robbie?
I need help.
Make up a story about a girl who throws a cool Christmas party.
But Christmas isn't about being cool. It's time for being nice to someone new, maybe someone who is shy.
Kate put down the phone. I never thought about Christmas that way. Sorry I didn't help.
The next day after school, Robbie visited Munching Max. He found Max in his bedroom, sharing in a box of broken candy things. How's the story going, Redheaded Robbie?
I need help.
Make up a story about a kid who was mad at his little sister for breaking his candy case. He hides her Christmas presents as paybacks.
But Christmas isn't time for paybacks. It's time to forgive.
Max put down the broken candy case. I never thought about Christmas that way. Sorry I didn't help.
The next morning, the students and parents gathered in the auditorium for the Christmas assembly.
The fifth grade performance, a Christmas play they had written. Only a few times did their wigs fall off their heads. Fourth grader played a Christmas song he composed on the guitar. Only a few times did he drop his guitar. A third grader danced the Christmas dance she had choreographed. Only a few times did she tumble on the floor.
When the time came for the second grade performance, Miss Wallace said,
Robbie will now tell his Christmas story.
Robbie stood before the assembly, and in his hand was the story he had written about the snowflake that he thought it was a raisin. His stomach felt like it was filled with hot candle wax.
Robbie took a deep breath and started to tell his story.
Lobby raisin.
He said, Robbie's face flushed, burning red. A couple of first graders giggled. Robbie tried to talk to him.
Believe in glow and glow.
He said, a couple of fifth graders whispered to each other. Again, they tried to speak.
Shamina Mina Blanket.
A couple of fourth graders pointed at Robbie.
His story was a disaster. Robbie felt ready to burst into tears, and he put his hands over his eyes.
Suddenly, Big Eddie left his seat and walked to the stage. He stood next to Robbie and put his arm around him.
Redheaded Robbie Knows a Christmas Story. It's about a boy who thought that Christmas meant one thing, getting presents, and then a little angel with red hair visited that boy. The angel told him that Christmas is a time for giving to people who don't have much. After the angel left, the boy asked his parents to give him some of his presents to the kids at the homeless shelter. That's Redheaded Robbie's Christmas story.
Old Katie left her seat. She stood next to Robbie and held his hand.
Redheaded Robbie knows a Christmas story of a girl who thought all about being cold. Then a little angel with red hair visited that girl. The angel told her that Christmas is a time for being nice to someone new, maybe someone who is shy. After the angel left, the girl visited the shy girl and played with her. That's Redheaded Robbie's Christmas story.
Munching Max got up from his seat, stood next to Robbie, and slipped a bag of peanuts in his pocket.
Redheaded Robbie Knows a Christmas Story. It's about a kid who wanted to hide his little sister's Christmas presents as paybacks for making us candy canes. Then a little angel with red hair visited the kid. The angel told him that Christmas is a time to forgive, not to pay back. After that, the angel left. That kid forgave his little sister and took her sledding. That's Redheaded Robbie's Christmas story.
The assembly stood and clapped. They didn't stop until Miss Wallace stood next to Robbie and asked for quiet. She wiped away a tear and said,
Thank you, Robbie, for your wonderful Christmas stories. Let each person here follow Robbie's advice. Give before you take. Show kindness to someone new. Forgive a person who has hurt you.
Miss Wallace looked at Robbie.
Did I forget to say anything?
Flurry flicked Miss Wallace.